Good evening, Blues. Welcome to the Manchester is Blues show. It's Thursday. This week has absolutely flown, and it's flown by with a massive smile on my face. There's a fucking fly attacking me. Sorry, hang on. Jesus Christ, it's massive. Champions! How good is that, lads? And I tell you what, do you know what I'm doing today, guys? I'm giving predictions for games. I know, it's for me. Bibby, just so you know, I don't give predictions because I'm superstitious, but now we've won, I can give them, and I can watch a game and actually enjoy it. And I've got 3 games I can enjoy this season. I've got Newcastle, I've got Brighton, and Everton. I can actually sit down with a beer and enjoy 3 games, not being a nervous wreck. How good is life? Amazing.
When the Champions League final comes around.
Until the Champions League final, and I will be a sweaty, horrible mess sat in the corner of a room somewhere with some energy drink.
Yeah, I can help you out with that.
Well, yeah, this is where the advert, this is where the mini roll for the advert comes in. Oh, lads, what's your thoughts then? It's bonkers, isn't it, to have not won the game ourselves, not won the league ourselves. It bugs me a little bit. The Chelsea game still bugs me a little bit, but at the end of the day, we have to be in the position we're in to win the league. So United not getting the points they need is all fair and love and war. But Bibby, we'll come straight to you, pal. I've not seen you in a while. What's your thoughts, pal, on the league? It's obviously a fantastic achievement.
Absolutely. I mean, I've seen various differences of opinion, like you do on social media. But I mean, I don't care how we win it as long as it gets won. Like we was 2 games in hand over United, and they obviously needed to win every single game to even have a chance. If there's a chance that United could potentially still win the league, I'd rather us get it wrapped up as soon as possible, regardless of whether or not we need the win or they need to drop points. There's always we could have a 20 point lead and they need to win every single game, and my ass would just be like a Tudor. It would just be throbbing constantly. I don't like it. So I like the fact that it's done and dusted now. However, I still think it's a dress rehearsal for the rest of the squad. I can't see Pep sitting back and just going, do you know what, we'll just let the fringe players play all the games now. This is a dress rehearsal for these guys need to maintain their fitness now until the Champions League final, and it's still quite a long way away. It's not 3 or 4 days, it's a couple of weeks. So we've still got time for players to get injured, not be fit enough, not be sharp enough. This is dress rehearsal stuff now. These players need to be coming out. And I know you said it's cool as fans, we can sit back now. But if we lose these next 3 games, which we're not going to lose these next 3 games, it's famous last words, but we're not going to lose them. It's just, yeah, it's wrapped up, it's done, we're good.
It's true, isn't it? It's 2 weeks on Saturday, and a lot can happen in 2 weeks. You know, we're seeing news that Kevin's not going to play tomorrow night. He's bubble bath. I was going to say bubble bath. Whatever he goes on in his house is fine. Yeah. Bubble wrap time, isn't it, for him? Absolutely. What's your thoughts, Tom? Would you go full strength for the next 3 games, or would you do the swapping and changing of players like he's done over the last couple of weeks?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because in an ideal world, all these players that are going to play in the Champions League final play the next 3 weeks. The next 2 weeks. They play really well. Their fitness is great. Their form's great. They go into the final, raring to go. But in reality, do we want to be risking the likes of De Bruyne for dead rubber games and risking him picking up a knock and missing the Champions League final? I think for me, this is more a time for. Don't get me wrong, I can't see. I think the team that lines up in the Champions League final will be the same team that lined up in the second leg of that tie against Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah. I think that will be the exact same side. But I think this is now the time for players like Raheem Sterling, Gabriel Jesus, these sorts of players to give Pep that decision to make. Like I say, I'd be very surprised if any of these players did find their way into the team to start the Champions League final. But I think these will be the players that will get minutes over the next couple of weeks. And I'd love to see Sterling hit some form and for him to be able to come on off the bench and score the winner in the Champions League final. And this is I think, what Pep will do. I wouldn't even be surprised if we don't see Edison play in the league again this season. Wouldn't be surprised if he gives Stefan a run tomorrow night and over the next couple of weeks. But again, that's a dangerous decision to make, in that you're risking a player coming into a game lacking that bit of match sharpness that you need. And I can't see I can't see all these players not playing another minute, but at the same time, I can see the likes of Sterling, Torres, Jesus, these sorts of players playing quite a lot over the next couple of weeks. But I think the biggest dilemma for me is if you go Fernandinho or Rodri in that final. I think that's the one spot that's up for grabs. And for me at this stage, I'd take Fernandinho over Rodri for the fact that I think he suits playing Chelsea and the way Chelsea will play in the final more so than Rodri. But Rodri is our first choice holding midfielder and has been for the whole season. And do you bring in a 36-year-old for a Champions League final? He's shown obviously that he's still got it over the last few weeks, but there's a lot to be decided. But as far as squad selection goes, I can see a lot of chopping and changing. But I can also see, like you say, De Bruyne, Foden, these players being really restricted minutes-wise. Just give them a little bit to keep them fit. And if they start, they'll be brought off after 60 minutes. If they come on off the bench, they'll come on for 20 minutes. Like, I can't see De Bruyne, Foden, Mahrez, any of these players playing a full 90 minutes before the Champions League final.
This is the time where if you played fantasy football, you'd avoid a City player like the absolute plague. This is like, if you need points, you get those lads out of the team straight away. It's a funny.
Sorry, Tom. Just on what the other Tom said. Then I think this is now these next 3 games are kind of irrelevant in terms of the players that play. I think Pep now will be focused mostly on the training. He needs to get that training right. The training will be where he's seeing how good these players are up for it.
Yeah.
The games the rubbers, of course you want to win, but it's not imperative that in those games we win 4-5-0. He'll be looking at these players now in training, going, "Are you up for it? Let's see. Put it in a week." And if you can put it in the training ground and we're up at them levels, the matches aren't really that important now. It's more about being ready in training when them games come.
I don't think I've ever seen a player get match fit in training, though. That's the issue that we've got.
But I don't think we've got players that are not match fit. I don't think we're struggling for my players that are match fit. I think he'll want the training levels now. The training levels are more important than these next 3 Premier League games are for me. Our next 2 games, should I say?
Yeah, I agree.
Those training levels are going to be. He won't care about the performances. He'll care about how you up for it in training, and that's where he'll pick his team.
I think it's a funny one. I think if you get our whole squad and you're going to work it off a value of percentages over the next 3 games, I reckon the whole squad will play an even amount of games. I reckon the percentage will be quite even right across the board, apart from goalkeeper. I think Ederson's going to play. It's a funny one with Fernandinho. I think with that position, Tom, I think with Fernandinho's positioning and Rodri's position, I think what we need is we need I think we need the brains more than the player in that game. I think we need Fernandinho's mental awareness of a football game and the shithousery that comes with it, and is the way he can control a game. I think we need him more than Rodri's energy, possibly. I don't know. I think Fernandinho will start ahead of Rodri, but I am very much expecting a few curveballs to be chucked in. I would pick the same team that played against the second leg, PSG, because that just seems to be our perfect, and we were magnificent in spells. So I just couldn't see us. But what do I know? Pep's going to chuck a 1-3-7 formation at some point, and go from there. I don't know.
Eric Garcia will start.
Can you imagine?
I don't want to think about it, because I think about it.
It's quite interesting now. How many Premier League games has he played, Garcia?
I don't know. I know that he played that game against
Leicester. He got enough appearances to get a medal.
Is it 5 games you got to play?
5, yeah.
So... I don't know if he has played 5. I genuinely, the only game I can remember
he has.
He played that one against Leicester where we got slapped, and from that point I was well happy he was off to Barcelona, and that was No, but I think, going back to what you were just saying then, Tom, I think Fernandinho is a better suited player for the game against Chelsea than Rodri anyway. I think Rodri's a very good sort of like obviously a physical presence on the pitch, but Chelsea are going to sit back and are going to hit us on the counter-attack. That is how Chelsea are going to play. And Fernandinho has shown for 8-9 seasons now that he is the best holding midfielder at breaking down those counter-attacks. And his positional awareness is absolutely insane. And I think that they're going to be looking for, they'll play Werner up top, and they'll just be trying to play him in behind, and they'll have probably, I don't know, Pulisic down one side and Havertz down the other, and they'll just be trying to play quick football. And I think Fernandinho is better suited to combat that than Rodri is. So even without taking out the fact that he's club captain, he's got experience, he's got this, that, and the other, I do think that if you're talking from a purely tactical point of view, Fernandinho fits that game better than Rodri does for me.
I tell you what, I'm just looking at Eric Garcia's stats this year, And he's a very nervous boy this moment in time. He's had 4 appearances. He's been on the bench loads. He's squeaky this week. He's making the coffee for Pep. He's picking up his washing.
He's holding the doors.
He's fluffing. He's doing everything. He's right into it. You've got to be thinking, haven't you? Come on, mate. Just give me one half. I don't care.
I think he's guaranteed, and if he's just last 5 minutes of the game.
I won't be surprised if he starts tomorrow. To be honest, it's a bonkers one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what do you think the team is going to be for Newcastle then, lads? What are we expecting? Because I was going to say wholesale changes, but it can't be hard against the team against Chelsea. Can it be wholesale? I think I'm expecting 4 or 5, 6 changes every game now for the next 3 games. Yeah. So it's hard to call, isn't it?
I genuinely think he'll put his strongest team out, strongest available team tomorrow. I think he'll
see how everyone does and start resting for Brighton.
Put everyone out and then see how it goes. 75 minutes, and then he'll have in his mind then whether or not these players know that. If you're taking your foot off the gas, then you're getting dragged off, and you'll know about it. And I think he'll do that just so that it gives those players that aren't in the 11 the chance to then say in training, like, we've got to up it. I need to get in that team.
Yeah.
So I think if you leave these players out, it puts the kind of the second string in. The second choices that we've got at the minute. It gives them a bit of kind of like makes them so they feel they're getting games so just for the sake of it rather than I've earned a spot. And I don't think he wants to go down that route. I think these players play because they deserve to play rather than.
There's two lads that I'm really interested to see what they're going to be like over the next 3 games, and that's Jesus and Sterling. I think I'd like to. I mean, Sterling obviously poached that goal off Sergio, and rightly so, because I think Sergio had fluffed his lines a little bit there for that opportunity. So I'm glad Sterling was there to put it in the back of the net. But I'm expecting to see those two really try and shine or work their nuts off, because at the minute those two aren't starting for me against Chelsea. So I don't know. It's a funny one, isn't it? Do you think do you think Sterling's gonna kick on from that, have a bit of confidence from that goal, and we're gonna start seeing more of him?
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, he should have had a penalty. That should have been a penalty in the last minute. He also could have been sent off. He could have also been sent off in the first half for that challenge as well. So I'm not overly bothered about that. Like the loss was annoying, but I just don't think he looks himself. He really doesn't look like. I think the game that stood out for me for Sterling was when we beat Liverpool 4-1, and obviously Foden got all the praise that day for rightly so. Like he was sensational, but Sterling was so good that game at just running at players, picking up the ball and trying to take on his man, and we've just not seen that from him recently. And it's just his inability. Like we say, Aguero. I don't understand why Aguero had any grounds to be annoyed at Sterling for taking that goal, because, like you say, the ball's in the back of the net. I think Aguero had cocked up the chance, but he just doesn't look assured in front of goal, does he? I mean, you can't miss that. You got an open net. I mean, he did in the Champions League last year, but you shouldn't be missing those chances. But he just doesn't seem to have that sort of clinical edge that he has had over the last few years. He just doesn't, even like when he scored the other day, I thought he could kick on here and have a really good game, and I just don't think he did. With the exception of the goal, he just didn't do a lot over the course of 90 minutes. And I want him to kick on, I really do. And I want him to do well, and I want him to do well in the Euros for England as well. But I don't know what. I don't know what.
He doesn't have that. If we're going to compare, he doesn't have that stone cold killer's edge that Leroy Sané did he? Because when Sané went for a 1-on-1, he was going to score every time.
You just never back him to score.
He just doesn't have. As a City fan, you look at it and you think, I'm not confident here. He's not going to score. And when it goes in, you're surprised, rather than when he's going through, you're thinking, this is a goal, bang, done. Like Aguero, when he's raid prime, every time he went through, you knew it was a goal. You just don't have that sense of comfort with Sterling going through, do you?
His goal scoring record's insane, though, as well. And you look at how many goals he scored for City, and you think, realistically, this guy could be scoring double what he's had. Yeah, could have.
And assist.
Again, isn't what is he, 26, Sterling?
Something like that, 26.
He's coming into his prime now, and you'd like to think that you look at like Ronaldo and Messi in those years, and like I'm not comparing to, but that's when they started it in mad numbers. So if he's constantly fit and he's in and around that first team, you think the penny's got to drop at some point, and he's going to have to sink or swim. And if he's going to be wanting to get into this team, because it's going to be tough for him to get into this 11 now. He's up for a couple of years ago. He was first name on the sheet. Now he's not.
Do you think it's something personal that's going on in the background with Sterling? that's seen this drop in confidence, and he'll be back on form next year? Because I had him down for our leading goal scorer this year right in our prediction show at the beginning of the season. I thought he was going to start banging him in. I thought he was going to
really had a bad season. He's not had he's still contributed a lot. He's just had a few games where he's not been great, and you see, he doesn't do himself any favors when he comes in as a sub, and he's a bit Mahrez-y. He's kind of taken Mahrez's lethargic style, anyway.
Yeah, it looks like he can't
very
bother.
Don't seem can't be bothered. Can't be bothered, and that's obviously. I think he's definitely taken over from what Mahrez was, who was a bit unsure about whether or not he was committed and he could be bothered. Needs to be carrying some of his shoulders, but he's not bothered. He's taking a wage and he's appearing.
I think he's just a stone cold confidence player. That's the only way I can describe him. Like if he's misplacing a few passes or he's tried to take on his man and he hasn't been able to do so. There's been times where he'll get into that 6-yard box or just inside the 18-yard box on the left-hand side, and he can just square it across, but he'll try and shift it onto his right foot to try and find the bottom corner. And he's not been able to do it. Like the defenders have kind of worked out how to mark him out of the game. It's very easy to just keep him on that right foot and then just stop anything from coming in. Whereas you'd probably think, okay, drop a shoulder and go left side, but he's not. He's just a confidence player. He's just not thinking. In fact, he's overthinking what he's going to be doing rather than just playing it towards the edge of the 18-yard box for somebody else to run onto. I think he's just trying to overthink it. But I can guarantee if he stays here, come the beginning of next season, hopefully he's going to be a completely different player, but I can guarantee he is going to start finding goals at some point, whether or not it's going to be when we need it now, between the now and the Champions League final, or at the beginning of next season. If anyone needs a time off now, it's him.
Sort of just kind of summarises, if you're a right back playing against him and or any kind of defender, you have a really good game, you kind of say, he's been in my pocket, I've had him in my pocket all game. Whereas, like, Raheem Sterling tends to put himself in their pocket. Doesn't he? Yeah. He has a bad couple of minutes, couple of bad runs, his head goes down, he just sort of gives in, and there you go, mate, I'm yours, I'm done.
That's the difference to Mahrez this season, isn't it?
He does that to himself rather than the other way around. Especially against Wan-Bissaka. Against Wan-Bissaka, he literally just turns up and says, mate, I'm not going to bother with you.
Yeah.
I'll just stand here and not the ball. We're just going to stand here all day. You look at me and I'll look at you and nothing will happen. He's kind of given up already, and that's what Sterling's kind of mindset seems to be.
Well, that's what Mahrez has took himself out of that shadow, in my opinion, this season. Like, we know he's a left-footed player. Like,
one for another, haven't we? We swapped prolific Raheem Sterling to now we've got prolific Mahrez, and we've lost one for the other.
Like, for the time being. Mahrez reminds me so much of Robben, and I know that's nearly disrespectful to Robben because of how classy he was, but he's just so one-footed, yet he's finding space, he's finding gaps, he's finding passes, he's finding the smallest areas of the goal to hit, and he's been doing it consistently this year, rather than doing that extra step over, getting to the byline and then thinking, well, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to cross it? Am I going to cut back? Am I going to try and take my man on again? He's just, his head's up. He's looking for the pass, always looking for the goal. That's something that Sterling has been doing for the last 3 seasons. And this season, for whatever reason, nobody knows, he's just digging himself into a hole. Whereas this isn't the Sterling that we know. And it's unfortunate because I absolutely love, when he's going, he's so good to watch. He's so fast. He's so good on it with the ball at his feet. And it's just unfortunate that he's not peaking at the times when you expect him to peak.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for a strong finish to the season for him. I want him to give Pep as many headaches as possible going into that selection for the Champions League game. And I'd love to see him kick on for England as well, because I'm really looking forward to watching England this season. Full of City players. I think it'd be really good.
Especially in that black kit.
Doesn't that kit look beautiful?
That in it. It's a good kit, that.
I'm loving that. Is that an official kit then? Is that one that's...
I think so.
I don't know if it's one that they'll wear, but it won't be one that they'll wear. I don't think it'll be like a...
Is that the Italian 90 throwback one that's in all black?
Yeah. It's
nice,
it's so nice.
Yeah.
I might have to purchase that one for
It'll be the first England shirt I've purchased in about 20 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, I haven't had an England shirt in a while.
Hilarious. Right, so let's talk about the Champions League. It's been moved to Porto now, hasn't it? Because... Brian, I'm going to ask you to take this over because you commented on it perfectly about. In fact, I'll drop that with you. You crack on with what your thoughts were of UEFA and their wisdom.
Just to put it bluntly, they're an absolute pack of bastards that don't want to they do not want to go ahead with governmental rules for the UK, who want to oil shafts of the sponsors and all these people just to get their massive entourage of media, sponsors, VIPs into a country, regardless of the COVID regulations, just to get them in there to say, thank you for the sponsorship. Here you go. As it is an event for you, rather than having to spend 3 days in quarantine or something to come to the UK.
Yeah.
To benefit the fans. So all this shit about UEFA and this European Super League was like, oh, we're doing this for the fans. You want to do it? Bollocks. They've just shown within 3 weeks that on one hand they say it's for the fans. Here we go. Opportunity to help the fans. Shafted. Oh.
Have you seen the prices have like quadrupled to go to Porto in the last 4 days?
They've come out this morning or this evening and said like the fans have got to fly over in the morning.
So many people
go to the game, stay in a big pack, and then get transported straight back to. I'm not being funny, and I had this discussion with my mum just before, and we were saying Portugal is a green light country now. You can go and have a holiday in Portugal. So how can they turn around and say you're a football fan going to the football? We're only letting you in for 24 hours, and you can't go near any.
Not even that.
It makes no sense that they can say I could book a holiday as an average human and go and have a week in Portugal. That's fine. But if I wear a City shirt and go to the final, I'm only allowed to stay in just for that game. And like you were just saying there, Brian, like you could have it at Wembley with 20,000 City fans, 20,000 Chelsea fans, and all these corporate people. But instead, we're playing it in Portugal with a timer on your wrist.
It's just to please corporates. That's all it is.
It's 25 City fans and about 25. It makes no sense. And like you say, it's all just for the greed of UEFA and wanting their special people in.
So I saw something on Sky Sports News about it, and I think it was that Carve Solocal said, he tried making me try and feel a bit sympathy towards UEFA. It's like saying UEFA have taken a bit of a hit in the pocket here and moving this fixture has cost them a bit of money. I'm like, fuck off. Come on, mate. How much money they make every year?
Yeah, exactly.
And during COVID, everyone's stuck in it. What does it matter if it's a couple of £1 million? They'll make that back in TV revenue anyway in the next year. It's just like, come on. This is an opportunity.
Smallest violin of smallest violin manufacturing shops.
I'm surprised they've moved it, if I'm being honest.
I'm genuinely surprised. If they're going to shaft you might as well kept it where it was.
Yeah. I thought
because they couldn't even get their clientele and clients into Turkey. That's what it was. They had to move it so they could please them.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that's cost them in terms of Turkey would have been told and they would have been paid to host this as a final.
Yeah.
How much money that they would have lost for that? Because I thought that would have been the biggest factor.
Have they swapped a final with another time to say like
they will
get a final in a few years
in the future, but
banners and everything would have already been put up. Though they would have started to pay the security. They would have paid for everything around it.
Good.
No, it's fuck all to do with us. It's not come out of my pocket.
Good.
But still,
I'd love to see these posters on Twitter of Istanbul 2021. Yeah, go your ass.
They'll probably still use the same banners, the cheap bastards.
Yeah, they just cross it out.
Start walking around offering people Turkish delight, pretending they're in.
But to sum it up, mate, it stinks and it isn't right.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Simple as that. Yeah, it's not fair. The chance to do something for the fans in the global pandemic.
If they're going to move it, why? Like, I get it. They've got it to a green light place to say that it's so the fans can travel. But like we've said, it's not. It's so their people can go. If their people could have gone to Turkey, it wouldn't have been moved from Turkey.
And am I right in thinking they couldn't do it in the UK because our government said you'd have to quarantine here for a period of time?
They allowed quite a lot of them to come through on like this elite sportsman thing. You know, like if you're coming from part of UEFA's conglomerate of people, you're allowed to come in. But they wanted 2,000 people to come through. And the government said no, and rightly so, because if they're not willing, they know there's a final coming. They've got 2 weeks to prepare for it. All they can say to you is like, look, the final's being in England. This next week, you've got to quarantine. You've got to go in your bubble and you've got to come to the UK and quarantine for 48 hours in a hotel.
And take a COVID test.
Rules do with it.
Take a COVID test before
deal with it. But no, it's like they just want to be able to swan in the overpriced suits and all that sort of crap. Come to the stadium and sit there and sip on champagne and stuff in the directors' boxes and then go back and don't give a shit about the result. Don't give a shit about the fans. They just want to go back and as you see that City and Chelsea fans have got to pay fortunes to go there. It's like cattle dragged into a cattle market and dragged back home and shipped on a plane and F off, home you go. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the coverage on the plane on the way home.
I'll read the official comments from. Basically, this is the cabinet, the Portugal's cabinet affairs minister Mariana Vieira da Silva, who set out the rules in place for those attending the final. Those who come to the final of the Champions League will come and return on the same day with a test done in a bubble situation on charter flights. There'll be 2 fan zones, and from there they'll be moved to the stadium, and from the stadium to the airport, being in Portugal in less than 24 hours. Obviously, those coming by plane to be in Porto while the match is on, but don't officially go to the stadium, will have to comply with established rules and measures, etc. There's going to be more City fans there that haven't got tickets than there is going with tickets, I would think.
100%. People are going to fly over there. It's a first Champions League final that City have got to. People are going to in it, and we're just now coming out of a global pandemic as well. People don't forget that not only is this the first time City have been there, it's the first time people have been able to go abroad in about 12 months. People just want a bit of sun. So you're going over there to go with like-minded fans to go and celebrate the fact that City are in a Champions League final. And there's nothing wrong with that based on what the government are saying about Portugal, based on anything. There's nothing wrong with anyone going there for however long they want. But UEFA now want to make it worse than it is by, like Brian said there, like, hardening us over there, like, I mean, animals or whatever.
It literally is just you're coming off your goal sort of thing.
It's ridiculous. Like,
there's no grey area here, though, is there? There's genuinely no grey area. There's nothing from our government to say that we can't go over, nothing from them to say that we can't. So people are just going to go 3 days before and stay 3 days afterwards. Yeah. And then what they're going to do, they can't force you to get on a plane. There's they can't just straight out of the stadium.
It'll only be the match day people that are left. You won't even be able to. The way I see it is, you won't even be able to congregate together. So, if us 4 went, 2 went to the game via charter flights, and 2 went 2 days early, we wouldn't be able to see each other. We'd be segregated.
Yeah, it's a farce. Like, it just honestly makes no sense for it not to be played in England.
Oh, it's a money decision. It's not.
It really just. I mean, don't get me wrong, a Champions League final at Villa Park doesn't fill me with a load of like excitement, but I'd much rather play a Champions League final at Villa Park with 40,000 fans in there that can be at the game safely without having to travel abroad. Like,
one thing that annoyed me about that, Tom, is everyone's going Villa Park, or this sort of stadium.
It's a good ground.
It is, but they were saying that it's not up to European standards, and that's fair enough. Not one person in the media mentioned Leicester City, who are in Champions League positions, have been in the Champions League, are kitted up for it, and their stadium holds 40,000 people. It would be perfect. It's in the same region, isn't it? Midlands. So
yeah, they just don't. I don't think these pop people fancy Birmingham. Yeah.
If you've been to Birmingham on a night out, you can understand why. Just some advice for any City fans going over to Portugal. I've been there a couple of times. If you were to fly to Porto on the Saturday, come back the Sunday, it costs 660 quid. However, they've got a really good train network. Get yourself to Lisbon. It costs 300 quid. Same day there and back. Get yourself to Lisbon. Train to Porto, and then back again. Save yourself 300 or 400 quid, lads.
And also, I did see, it was on Sky News, not Sky Sports News, that they are planning on doing ferry trips from down Dover. I think it might not be Dover, it's the other one down there. They usually don't go as far as Porto, but they are, on the 24th of May, allowing ferry trips to go further around.
It's up on a ferry with a bunch of City fans going.
Yeah. I would imagine
they're going to have to have like staggered release, like Chelsea fans go on this one, City fans go on that one. It's going to end up like that.
Literally fights in the cargo bay.
I mean, like Green Street on a boat to Portugal. Wouldn't it?
Oh, you're getting the Volkswagen Passion Wagon going over.
16 years in a Volkswagen.
Last time I heard about City going on a ferry anywhere was when we played Midtjylland in Iceland. There was like City fans hiring fisherman boats and going over, like 200 City fans going to the middle of the sea. Brilliant. Oh, that sounds like a great laugh, actually.
Oh, I'd love that.
Right, we're gonna wrap it up, lads. We'll talk again next week after hopefully we're giving Newcastle a damn good spanking tomorrow. What do you reckon predictions for tomorrow, guys? What are you thinking score-wise? Tom, we'll go with you first, pal.
I just don't know what side he's going to go with. I think we'll win. I'd say a 2-0, just a standard win. Like I say, even if we start a strong side, I think as soon as we go a goal up or a couple of goals up, then players will start to come off. if we start with a weaker side, we should still have enough to get past Newcastle. So yeah, I'll go 2-0.
Yeah, I'm going 2-0 as well, pal. I think it's going to be a strong performance. I'm expecting 3 wins out of 3. Bibby, what are you thinking, pal?
1-0.
1-0. City or Newcastle?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 1-0 City. Yeah. I'm not going to bet against us. Never bet against us. Yeah, 1-0
Against
City.
us on Derby Day. Put a tenner on United every Derby Day, and then you got a little bit of a sweetener if we get beat.
Did you really do that?
There's no way I'm ever doing that. That's just
no, it's great. I tell you, they're always like 5-1. If you lose a tenner, you're not bothered because we won the Derby. And if if United win, you got 60 quid and happy days. So job's a good one.
You turn cold.
I tell you, 60 quid on beer when we lost the Derby goes a treat, mate.
That makes me feel a little bit sick, but I love your methodology.
It
I'm
works.
yeah.
If we draw, it's a stinker.
The question I'm asking myself now, massively digressing, is how much would I be happy to lose with City Derby? So how much? Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that for the next Derby game. Go on, Brian. Score prediction for tomorrow night, pal.
4-0. Aguero will get a couple. Get out the record.
Are you reckoning Sergio Panenka in the 89th minute?
No. If he gets a penalty, mate, I guarantee he's smashing that right down the middle or out the stadium. He ain't never doing that again in his career.
I think my foot will go through the TV if he does that again.
Serious question. If we got a penalty tomorrow and Aguero's on the pitch, do you reckon they let him have it?
Yes. I do.
He'll be taking the ball out of anybody's hand.
I think Edison will come and drag him away and just take it top bins himself. I reckon we start Edison centre mid one game. Nah, I'm joking. We don't do that. He'll get injured. And, yeah.
Oh, can you imagine that?
Just stick Edison in the middle of midfield and let him spread the ball. It'd be mint.
Stefan in goal for the Champions League final.
Just quick on Edison there. I'd love for him to just randomly take a free kick one day. 88th minute, just fuck it. Let's have a spin.
Yeah, like 5-0 up and just sticks on top.
Yeah, smash it out the stadium. Yeah. Smash it out the stadium, and then everyone can say, "Yeah, mate, you were shit at that." That's not anymore.
I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, it's not going to happen, is it? Taking penalties, but anyway, never mind. I can dream. Right, lads, thank you very much for joining us. We'll speak to you all soon. Have a good night, guys.
Pleasure.
See you soon, boys. Bye.